Buddhist principles have been around for centuries, offering timeless wisdom on how to live a more fulfilling and purposeful life. By embracing these principles, individuals can develop a strong foundation for personal growth, overcome obstacles, and become unstoppable in their pursuits. Life can be tough, and we all face challenges that test our resolve. Stress, self-doubt, and lack of motivation are common struggles that can hold us back from achieving our goals. It's easy to get caught up in negative thought patterns and feel like we're not good enough. These feelings can be overwhelming, making it difficult to stay focused and motivated. Many of us try to push through, but it's hard to keep going when we feel like we're stuck in a rut. Sometimes, it feels like the world is moving fast, and we're just trying to keep up. The Buddhist principles I'm about to share with you have the power to change that. Let's dive into the first few principles. The principle of impermanence reminds us that everything in life is transient, including our struggles. This understanding can help us stay grounded and focused on what truly matters. The principle of mindfulness encourages us to be present in the moment, letting go of distractions and cultivating awareness. The principle of compassion teaches us to treat ourselves and others with kindness, fostering a sense of connection and community. The principle of non-attachment helps us let go of our ego and desires, freeing us from the burden of expectations. One powerful story that comes to mind is that of a monk who was struggling to find purpose in his life. He felt lost and disconnected from the world around him. After discovering the Buddhist principles, he began to apply them to his daily life. He started by practicing mindfulness, which helped him stay present and focused. He then cultivated compassion, which allowed him to connect with others on a deeper level. As he continued on his journey, he found a sense of purpose and fulfillment that he had been lacking. To recap, the 10 Buddhist principles that can make you unshakable are impermanence, mindfulness, compassion, non-attachment, and 6 more that we'll explore in future videos. These principles have the power to transform your mindset, helping you overcome challenges and achieve your goals. What principle resonated with you the most? Let me know in the comments below. If you're interested in learning more about personal growth, be sure to check out my next video on overcoming self-doubt. As I began my week-long journey of living by these principles, I realized how deeply rooted my daily stress and anxiety had become. The more I leaned into the teachings, the more I could observe my mind from a distance. I wasn't just reacting to life anymore. I was beginning to respond with awareness. Each morning, I sat quietly for a few minutes, just observing my breath. At first, it was uncomfortable. My mind raced. I felt impatient. But then, something shifted. I started to notice small gaps between my thoughts, moments of silence that offered peace. That was the doorway mindfulness opened for me, and it made me curious to explore more. One day during this experiment, I experienced a situation that would normally trigger frustration. I was stuck in traffic, running late, and I could feel irritation bubbling up. But I paused, remembered the principle of impermanence, and told myself, this moment will pass. That simple reminder diffused the tension. I looked around, saw people in their own cars, likely rushing, worrying just like me, and I felt connected to them. Compassion arose naturally. I wasn't just a stress driver anymore. I was a human sharing this fleeting moment with others. There's something incredibly liberating about seeing things as temporary. It makes you take yourself a little less seriously. The highs and lows, the praise and criticism, the successes and failures, they're all passing clouds. This understanding doesn't make you numb, it makes you wise. You begin to savor joy more deeply, knowing it won't last forever, and you endure pain with patience, knowing it too will fade. Impermanence became not just a thought, but a companion that walked with me through every hour of that week. Another profound realization came when I explored non-attachment more deeply. We often tie our happiness to outcomes, promotions, relationships, recognition, even how others treat us. And when those expectations aren't met, we suffer. But Buddhism teaches that clinging leads to suffering. During the week, I practiced letting go of small expectations, like how my day should unfold, how someone should respond. And each time I did, I noticed a lightness in my chest. It was as if I was freeing myself from invisible chains I never knew were there. Compassion, too, revealed its power in unexpected ways. I've always thought of compassion as something we give to others, which it is, but self-compassion, that was harder. I'm often my harshest critic, and during moments of doubt, I can be unforgiving toward myself. But this week, I made it a point to treat myself like I were a friend. I acknowledged my efforts, forgave my flaws, and even spoke kindly to myself. It felt awkward at first, but also healing. Compassion became a gentle flame that melted my inner walls, allowing love to flow more freely, both inward and outward. As I moved into the middle of the week, I started feeling shift. It wasn't dramatic or sudden, but subtle and steady, like a river carving through stone. I was becoming more centered, more open, more resilient. And that's when I remembered another essential principle: right intention. Setting clear, wholesome intentions is like aligning your compass before a journey. It's not about being perfect, but about choosing your direction wisely. So each morning, I ask myself, what is my intention today? Whether it was to listen more, judge less, or be present with my loved ones, this question anchored my day with meaning. I also began practicing contentment, a deeply underestimated aspect of happiness. We're so conditioned to chase the next thing that we rarely pause to appreciate what's here. But contentment isn't complacency. It's gratitude in motion. So, I started noticing the small joys, the warmth of sunlight through my window, the taste of a simple meal, the sound of birds in the morning. These weren't dramatic experiences, but they nourished something essential in me, a kind of quiet joy that didn't need permission or validation. One evening, I found myself walking in the park, just observing the trees swaying in the breeze. I wasn't thinking about the past or planning the future. I was simply there. And in that stillness, I felt connected to something bigger than myself, not as a concept, but as a felt experience. This, I realized, is what many spiritual paths point to. Buddhism just gives it language and practice. In that moment, I wasn't trying to be mindful. I was mindfulness, and it felt like coming home. By the sixth day, I noticed that I had begun to naturally pause before reacting, whether it was in conversation, in traffic, or when facing inner criticism. This pause, though small, was transformative. It gave me the space to choose, to respond with clarity rather than react out of habit. I realized that inner freedom isn't about never feeling anger, fear, or sorrow. It's about not being controlled by them. And in that freedom, I discovered peace. The last day brought reflection. I journaled about everything I had experienced, the ease, the resistance, the insights, the setbacks. I saw how these 10 Buddhist principles weren't rules to follow, but invitations to live more deeply. They weren't about escaping life's messiness, but about embracing it with presence and wisdom. And perhaps the greatest gift was this: I didn't feel like I had changed into someone else. I felt like I had come closer to who I truly am. This journey didn't end after 7 days. It was just the beginning. Buddhist teachings aren't meant to be temporary challenges. They're lifelong companions. And now, whenever life feels heavy or confusing, I know I can return to these principles and find guidance. They're not magic spells, but they are powerful tools, ones that help us navigate life with courage, kindness, and clarity. So, if you've ever felt stuck, overwhelmed, or disconnected, I encourage you to try even one of these teachings. Sit with your breath. Observe your thoughts. Forgive yourself. Appreciate something simple. Let go of what no longer serves you. These may seem small, but their impact is profound. Because true transformation doesn't come in a flash. It comes in quiet moments, consistent choices, and deep inner shifts. And that's the beauty of this path. You don't need to change everything overnight. You just need to begin.